In today's video, we're going to learn how to enter in pre-existing customer orders. Here we have an order from our third-party sales team known as Retail Network. You'll see quite a bit of information such as where the order generated from in the upper left, Retail Network. You'll see the shipping address of where the order needs to ship to. You'll also see the order number, which is important for any of our third-party sales team orders. And below all of the customer information, you will notice where our product information is for actually creating the order. You'll see that we have the product code, the product description, the quantity, and then the price that the product sold for. So here you'll see that we have two things. We have the purchase order and we have the packing slip. The only thing that we actually need the packing slip for is to know what the payment terms are for our order. We have three different types of orders. We have CODs, we have credit card, and then we have term agreements. It will tell you what the payments are depending on what it is. Here I want to talk to you about a specific item type called a slider. Something that's special about these items is that it's a little bit different than just about all the other items that we're going to have to put into the system. There actually needs to be a hyphen added in a specific spot for each of these item codes, but due to the sales rep system, they can't generate the hyphen, so we're going to have to add them in manually. So I want you to notice that each of these products is broken into three pieces. You have the SLDZ, you have the BLK, and then you have the 10FZ. So what you have is you have the item type identifier, the color, and then you have the size and the gender. You don't need to worry about the Z just yet. So the hyphen will always go in right after the SLDZ. It will go in after the Z. Then the next hyphen will always go in after the color. And then the last hyphen would go in before the Z and after the gender. Gender will either be M for male or F for female. So here you'll see the sales order entry. You're going to have to put in SO-00 and then the order number. Please make a note that this system does not auto-generate the next order number, so you'll need to pay attention to the last order number you entered in and automatically enter it in yourself. If you notice, the last order we entered in is order number SO-00-481. So if we're going to go ahead and put in 482, we're going to go ahead and click Save. Here's where we're going to enter in the customer information. We're going to click Edit. There's actually two ways to find the customer once you click the Edit button. You can either find them in the quick drop-down box. Sometimes you'll find them, sometimes you will not. And then you can also click the List button. Once you click List, you'll want to change the ship to date to the last 200 days. Click Refresh Grid, and then make sure you reorder the shops. Scroll down and find the corresponding shop. Once you have found the corresponding shop, you're going to want to double check the details because some of our customers have the same shop name. So make sure the street address matches the customer. Once you have found the correct customer, go ahead and click Select. For any order that comes from Retail Network, you'll need to put in the purchase order number right here in the purchase order line. Once you have selected the customer, you're going to need to enter in the order number. You're going to put in RN for Retail Network and then put in the order number. Then you can go ahead and click Save. Sometimes you'll get an error message after you click Save. You can go ahead and click OK through that. It will not affect the order. Next, you'll want to select Carrier and Routing. You'll want to click Edit. You'll then want to select FedEx, and then you'll select Ground. All shipments ship FedEx Ground for wholesale orders. Now over in the Notes section, we're going to put in that this is a COD. So this has a little bit of a different note because the warehouse had 2 CODs come to me instead of the sales team. So I'm going to put the note in to make sure that they pay attention to where it's being remitted to. For all CODs, you're going to put in COD space COD space COD. You'll then put in remit to colon, and then you'll put in where it's going to be remitted to. Because this is an order for the sales team, it needs to go to their address, which is Retail Network, 1019 Naughton Street, Troy, Michigan, 48083. After you've entered in the details, you can go ahead and click Save. And next you're going to want to go click Line Items, click Add. You're then going to want to add the item. Now you're going to actually need to divide it because when you get the right item, it will appear in the drop-down box. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to put the hyphens in the designated spots for the sliders. And oh, look at that. There's the item we're looking for. We're going to put in the quantity. We're going to put in the sale price. We're going to click Save New. I'm going to show you again one more time for the blue slider. Once again, I'm going to divide it in the appropriate areas. And as soon as you do, you see it will pop up in the drop down to select. Go ahead, put in the quantity and the price. Click Save and New. Go ahead and do it over one more time. I'll show you one last time for the green slider. As you can see, separating it, and it appears. Put in the quantity and then the sale price. Save and New. I'm going to fast forward through this next batch here just so you don't have to be bored to death because this takes a little time. And here we are finally at a new item. This is an item that we can just highlight, copy, and you'll see it appears in the drop down. Go ahead and put in the quantity and the sale price. You can click Save and New. And I'll show you one more time. Same thing. It appears. You can go ahead and put it in there. Click File, put in the price. Click Save and New. And as you can see, I made an error in the quantity. I only put in one quantity when it actually needs to be 2 quantity. So to change that, I'm going to click the Edit button right here. But before I click the Edit button, I'm going to go over what these 3 icons are. The pad of paper is for editing when you made a mistake. The next is the Locate button, which you will not need to use. And the last button is the trash can for when you added an item by mistake. Once you've clicked Edit, go ahead and make whatever changes you need to make and click the Save button. You'll then go ahead and click the Add button and then start adding items again. I'm going to fast forward through these next couple before I get to this one where apparently they made a typo, so sometimes you may have to figure out what this item is. I will show you what to do in that case in a different video. But in this instance, we're going to put in the correct item code and then keep moving through the order until we put in all of the items. Here's an item code that was too long for them to print off all of the items, but because you have enough of it, when you go to put it in the system, it will pop up in the drop-down as you will see here. Now we're going to enter in a standard item. As you can see, it has Z in the item code. The only thing you're going to have to do is you're going to need to add a hyphen between the Z and the item. The Z is always going to be the last digit in the item code. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through the rest of these items to show you how to finalize this up. Entered in all the items, you're going to want to click on the Fulfillment tab, and you're going to want to make sure you check over all of your prices and quantities to make sure they're correct. Once you're done, you can go ahead and click the Complete button. One way to check to make sure you've entered everything in right is checking the totals of the invoice against what you actually put in on the system. And once you click Complete, you'll be brought back to the order entry screen, and this will conclude our tutorial for today.